back to Legendary Vegan Art. This is part 11, I think, of my portrait of Jared from Hot Pepper Gaming. Now today I'm going to do a lot of lifting. I've got my bigger, stiffer scrubby brush, and I'm going to lift up some areas on the hair to make it lighter, kind of like it is here. There's some areas that, sort of in this area, and a little bit here, that I'm going to lighten to look a little bit more like the sort of highlights on his hair in the reference photo. I'm also going to work a bit on the edge, where the dark meets the light of the skin. And I'm also going to start lifting up a lot more of this shirt because it just keeps bugging me how dark the shirt is versus how light it is on my reference photo. So this is nothing revolutionary, so I think I am going to fast forward through this. I know I said I'd shoot this whole video in real time. I don't think that's in anyone's best interest, but in the interest of actually recording everything that I actually do, I am going to keep the camera running, and we'll see where that leaves me off when the scrubbing is done. I've got a lot of other things to do when that's done. The lightness of the skin is really starting to bug me. I think I need to go over that again with a light red wash. I need to pull the top eyelid down just a little. I've got a lot of other little details to work on, this shadow on this side of the face here. But until I get this lifting done, I'm not going to worry about anything else. So here we go. Well, that wasn't the best scrubbing and lifting job I've ever done, but I have a feeling that a lot of it has to do with the fact that the phthalo green and alizarin crimson hue that I used are pretty staining. They're pretty hard to lift up. On the other hand, the earth tones that I used for the hair are very easy to lift up. They lifted up more than I wanted them to do when I just wetted the surface just to get things going. So I can still touch that up a little, but I think I'm going to use this extra time to touch on a couple of the other things that I mentioned, most particularly this eyelid. It's really been bothering me. Let's get all the brown that I picked up on the hair out of this brush so we can start clean. Let me just get this a little bit wet. Start pulling this down a little to be more in line with the reference. Get that off. We used mostly just straight raw umber last time. Got so into the idea of scrubbing up these other colors that I didn't even wet my paints for this session. Anyway, take a little raw umber. Get strong. Probably over-wetted this. That's fine. Get nice. Yeah, that's too thin. Just slosh the water away from the pigment pile and get a little bit of a stronger line. Okay. It's a little too weak. Let's size that eyelid in. Pull this up a little. It's a nice thick pigment. Much better. A little bit of this off so it's not too wet. Come in just like this. That's much better. Okay, I'm going to use this to pull up some of the pigment. It came down pretty wet. When that line dries, I can make the edge of this eyelid a little neater. And what else? I need to fix this. Let's get this brown color back to what we had the other day. Yeah, that'll do. that's just going to lift again, isn't it? Yep. Got a little too far ahead of myself this time, I think, but well, it's part of the creative process. You gotta let yourself make these mistakes. You know what? Maybe just dropping in some of these dark lines here might help the look of this sort of wet mess I made. Sometimes it just helps give depth if you lift and lay down, and lift and lighten and lay down, and lighten and darken and lighten and darken. Don't know if it's going to, but gotta try something. Can't leave it the way I did. I made a mess today. The hair, at least. Yeah, this is still drying a little weird. I'm gonna let that dry completely before touching it up again. Let's clean off this brush. Okay, I'd really like to put in a darker line here to clean up these white spots and just bring it more in line with the reference photo. So I'm gonna try. You know what? I'm not gonna re-wet this black that I made however long ago, because the pigments sort of separate. The red sort of sits on the bottom and the green on top, and it's hard to re-wet an even black. And since it's a really bluish silvery gray anyway, I'm just going to use these colors that I have. They're very similar to the eye color I used, or it is the color I used for the eyes. I'll be able to get a similar enough color out of it. That'll be just what I'm after. Actually, might be too much water. Let's run that down. Get my nice soft quill brush here and get these colors mixing. It's really wet. Normally the Prussian blue sort of overpowers the burnt umber, but I want this to be a nice bluish gray, kind of like that. Oh, a lot like that. A little more brown, just so it's not too high chroma. Let's try that. That's very good. Okay, let's bring this back into where we need it. And let's see, this shape looks kind of like that. Okay. And I guess all the way up to where that sideburn is. Might have to do another layer later, but that's okay. Get these light spots that are just bugging me to no end. Carefully get those out of the way. Let's move off this puddle out of the way. It's kind of leaving a dark stain where I don't really want it. Let's see how far down does this come. Let's get a little more color in here. It's not quite dark enough. And under the chin we've got a big shadow. I'm going to even just pull this in into the flesh area because it's so dark. Needs to be a lot more than what I have. I'm going to leave this lighter area here to signify the sort of highlight on the ridge of this bunched up fabric. That'll do. It's a nice dark shadow down here. And that's much better for that shadow area. Probably pull that down. Yeah, I got a little too much of this when I was lifting. Various times I've tried to do that. I don't want to overdo it. Nice dark shadow under here too. Just pulled that up. I was putting this one down. And it's pretty dark under here. I like how these colors are working together. Even though they're mixed from completely different pigments, they're still a nice desaturated gray. Bluish gray, I guess. It's interesting how you can get such similar mixes out of very different colors. You shouldn't always count on that on that happening, because it will betray you. Okay. Okay, I don't want to get myself lost just working on these, so I'm going to let what I've done today dry and come back a little later and work on these edges. And until next time, keep it vegan. Bye guys.